So for a long time, people have been talking about how Idubbz quote unquote lost the plot. And, I've been up and down. I definitely have not been as critical of him as I've been of someone like a Ethan Klein, who was just definitively, turned on his fan base. But now Idubbz has had a moment like that himself. Now he's somewhat been doing this type of thing ever since the OnlyFans drama and the Sam Hyde doc attempt. He sort of tried to shift away from the fan base that got him famous in the first place, which I think is a really slimy thing to do. And I know for a fact that a lot of people agree with this opinion. I'm not, saying anything super revolutionary here. People are just not, they're not down with this. They've seen him, go up to Tana, put his arm around her, and say the N word, hard R, in front of everybody, and then make a 20-minute video justifying it, which, a lot of people agree with to this day. So here's the clip that's got everybody so mad.
Another thing that ended up kind of guiding the path a little bit, I did not like the interactions that I had with fans. There were quite a few human beings that I interacted with.
In person?
Yeah, in person, that just sucked. They just sucked because I attracted a lot of people who sucked. Some people were, as I described earlier, were very much like antisocial, weird basement dwellers. And, the one time a month that they come out of their cave is going to restock on supplies at Walmart, and they run into me, their favorite YouTuber.
Which is kind of the lifestyle you were living at the time.
Yeah, exactly. I don't blame them.
And what would they say? What would they do?
Things that I am certainly not going to repeat. I'm talking bad words, cringy behavior that, like, maybe I'd do in a video because I got a camera pointed at me. There'd be some of that energy matched in person, and it's like, oh, maybe not.
So when you were on camera doing it, you felt like it was just for comedy, for entertainment?
Yeah, I mean, generally, yeah. And then, it's just antisocial, weird behavior. Surely you've had some fans, like, quoting smosh shit.
Yeah, when they're like, shut up! And I'm like, bro, that was a lot.
I mean, that's pretty much all I'm talking about, but maybe change the word shut up to something worse. And then.
So words that we only say by describing the first letter?
Yeah, exactly. Boy, man, what a powerful way of putting it.
Now, when it came to this, I had the same sort of logic that Sam Hyde had when he was talking about how Idubbz brought up some weird racism thing from his past. He feels like he has to do this, right? Because he's so big and he's doing all these things like the Creator Clash, and he's doing that show with Airsoft Fatty and Dax Flame, and he's, all these things, right? He's trying to do all these docs, and he's trying to clean up his image, because if he's too controversial, he'll get done just like Leafy got done. And it's really interesting to see, somebody completely have to morph who they are to be, to fit into a box, right? And, I've thought about that, like, oh, what if this channel, like, blows up randomly, right? So from the beginning, like, I'm not as edgy, and that's a little bit cringy to call yourself edgy, but, like, I'm not as edgy on here as I would be, with my friends. Does that mean that I, doctor my opinion at all? No, I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. Integrity is the only way. Shout out to the elementary school rhyme. But anyway, YouTube just isn't down with certain things, so he's trying to blend into that. I can get behind that. You know what? Make your bag, right? It's a little slimy, it's not what I would do in the situation, but hey, he feels like he's got to make the money. Just call it how it is. He's, going after money, and all power to him. But I do want to say that throwing your fans under the bus in this way is just scummy. Like, it is. It's so off-putting. It's scummy. It's weird, right? And I do want to talk about a ton of stuff surrounding Idubbz, right? Because it's weird to see, like, this guy go through a metamorphosis like this at the same time as Ethan Klein, right? But he somewhat avoided the same amount of criticism because Ethan was more of a like just a stark flip. Like as soon as he did the podcast, everyone was like, "Oh, you're not the guy that you are in the videos." Well, I think that Ian was able to avoid 90% of the criticism because he was slow with it. Like first, it was the whole OnlyFans thing, which I really don't care about, right? And then it was the Sam Hyde thing, right? And then it was oh, he took his wife's last name, which is weird. I personally wouldn't do it, but again, I don't care. I would prefer to continue my own last name, but guys got to do what a guy's got to do. All right, that's his prerogative. But this type of thing is really odd, and the guy who I found this clip from originally called him a jerk, and that's basically how I would describe it. It's a jerky thing to do, to be like, oh yeah, these guys that I rallied, that I, made them think that I was like this guy. Well, now I'm just going to abandon them and, treat them as if they were weird, right? And I'll be honest, right? Coming up to somebody and, screaming the N word or the F word, it's kind of weird. All right. In fact, it's very weird. Please don't do that. Okay. But, you garnered this type of audience. You can't be surprised, right? And it's not like you didn't agree with that, saying that type of stuff then, or you wouldn't have made those videos. Some people claim that it's like his wife, which it might be, but I think it's money. I just do. When you get that big, when you fly that close to the sun, you gotta watch what you say. You gotta watch what you do. That's just the way it is. It sucks, but that's just how advertisers and journalists have made it. If there weren't as many articles about Leafy or about all these, super controversial YouTubers who have gotten stuff demonetized, their channels taken down, YouTube would probably be at its like 2016 state where the money was really good and anybody could make money off the site, without the 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours limit. That would be gone. But things are different, okay? And people are going to change. But you can change like Joji, and people always bring this up. You can change like Joji and not, be, a complete jerk to your original fans that you attracted, and then act like they're losers and weirdos for enjoying you. Like, at that point, I think you're the loser. I think you're the loser who decided to draw in these people knowing exactly, because he's not stupid, right? He's not a stupid person. He knew what these videos would do. He knew the types of people that, this would attract. He knew how this would shape like the discourse. I remember being in middle school, right? And I went over to my homie's house and he had the Tana content cop on. And we were about to head out somewhere, and we sat there and watched it for like the rest of the 10 minutes that was left. And then we left, and I was like, wow, that was an interesting video. I never thought about things in that way. I was like 13, but like still. So he definitely has had an impact on people and discourse, right? And so to take that and to be like, oh, well, I don't like where this is going. So instead of coming out and saying something and being like, hey, I feel this way now, here's my argument for it, here's my thoughts for it, because he can create an argument, a valid argument. He was just like, you guys are losers. And, hey, if he wants to be mad that they discarded him, I don't know how he could, genuinely justify that in his head, but hey. It is what it is with him. So anyway, Thank you all so much for watching. I really and truly appreciate it. Goodbye.